I heard people like him.
Long live the morning routine. Long live friendly competition. Long live cozy nights at home. And long live healthcare that works with your life. Access to great doctors, simple mobile app, convenient locations across Long Island? Absolutely. You have options, but at Catholic Health, we'd like to remind you to choose you first, because we did too. Long live you, and long live Long Island.
From South Huntington, Long Island, the Ironmen of Don Bosco have made the trip across the George Washington Bridge to take on St. Anthony's. It is a tri-state showdown between two of the top teams in each state. New Jersey, New York, getting it on today on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Today's game sponsored by Catholic Health. Long live you. And long live Long Island. Well, a pleasant good afternoon. Dylan Butler alongside Brian Soper once again for what is another one of these fun matchups, right? It's we had Staples here, one of the top teams, or the defending state champion in Connecticut, to take on St. Anthony's on the weekend. And now it's Bosco making the trip over, one of the best teams certainly in the state of New Jersey, to take on this St. Anthony's team. And when you get these kind of matchups, it's always pretty entertaining.
Yeah, two powerhouse programs, right? Lacrosse and football. Both schools are known for their prowess in both sports. Both teams playing just unbelievable national schedules. Come in both with 3 losses, but with a ton of firepower, with something to prove. And you know, every single time we're here, right, there's something to prove, and big rivalry here. Last year's game was a 2-goal game. Expect nothing different today.
Let's take a look at Don Bosco here to start things off. You mentioned it, 3 losses, right? It's been sort of it's almost like trying to drive on the George Washington Bridge this time of day. It's a lot of stop and start. It's a win followed by a loss, followed by a win. The loss, though, that they had to Iona Prep was pretty eye-opening, right? And when it was 1-2, I think that maybe humbled this Bosco team a little bit, and they kind of righted the ship with a pretty solid win against IMG.
They seem like they kind of play to their opponent, and what that leads to, it leads to really close games. And Coach Lane is like, you know, our margins are very thin, right? Games go, you know, 1 goal here or there, and they're just looking to kind of maybe gain some momentum and you know, show it here today against St. Anthony's.
And how thin are those margins? So in a 3-3 record, they have 7.8 goals for and 7.5 goals against. So you're right, it is right there. It's one missed shot, it's giving up something, a missed slide, whatever it is. That is how close things are right now for Bosco. But 2 guys, Soap, they'll look to lean on today are our players to watch. Let's pull them up now. And on the left, John Dever, and on the right, Mikey Marino, two guys who have been part of this program's success for a few years now.
John Dever, just a dynamic player, going to Georgetown. Will play special teams and kick for football as well as play lacrosse for Coach Warren. 104 career goals, huge motor, plays his best in the big games. 3 goals versus Chaminade this year, 2-1 versus Del Barton. He really is the motor that drives the Don Bosco engine. And Mikey Marino, defenseman, Richmond seems to be recruiting some of the best guys in the country, and Marino's no different. A 4-year varsity starter, absolutely the voice on defense. He's physical, and he'll beat you up, right? So if he's guarding Rooney or Harrigan down low, right, they're in for a fist fight here at Cy Donnelly.
So that's the story for Don Bosco. Let's take a look at the Friars of St. Anthony's. They are 4-3 on the year, number 11 in the country by USA Lacrosse magazine, and it is a team that got into some shooting woes, right? And it wasn't even so much like shots from distance. It was like 6 and 8 yards out. Either the goalie was making a save, they were missing from that range. They made a few tweaks to their lineup, most specifically Dylan Harrigan getting bumped down to the attack, and that really came to a big result on the weekend, shooting 30% or plus and having a big win against Staples.
Coach Weisberg said coming into this year, our strength is our depth, right, our athleticism, and moving some pieces around. It doesn't just take 1 or 2 games. It takes an entire season sometimes, right, to figure out and to move the guys into the right spot. They deal with some injuries. You play these types of schedules. It's absolutely brutal, but hoping that they're moving those chess pieces around now and starting to play some of their best lacrosse of the season.
They are going to be, and it's going to be a story here today that we'll get into in a little bit, but banged up at the face-off X, certainly number 1 and 1A, if you will, both out for this game. So let's see how large that looms here today. But 2 guys are going to rely on here, whether or not they win a lot of face-offs today. It is Aiden Dale, the super sophomore on the left, and Ryan Lasko has been outstanding at long stick midi.
Yeah, Aiden Dale, one of the top 28s in the class, right? He wears number 5. He just got NLF 5-star ranking. One of the best recruits in the country. He's got speed. He's shown us a lot of range this year. Man up, being able to shoot it. They're going to really need him to step up. His roles increase with Matt Caruso out. 6 goals and 4 assists on the year, 10 points for the Soph. Ryan Lasko, I'm a big fan of him, right? He's been tremendous this year. Absolute vacuum cleaner on the ground balls. Probably the biggest surprise this year for me with them. Him and Bramoff have been a dynamic duo. He's been on the wings. He's been down low in the trenches. Lasko has been super good for St. Anthony's, and they're going to really need to rely on him and some of the seniors to step up today to take down the Ironmen. And
if you are able to scrap it up a little bit on the face-off, that's where Lasko comes in big, right? Like you said, from the wing, coming in and getting some GBs. So let's meet the starters now for both of these teams for the Ironmen of Don Bosco. You've got an attack of Dever, Villarule, and Kushner. Your first midfield of Koo, Lane, and Hillsworth. At LSM, they've got a good one there too in Justin Bossalina, bound for Virginia. And at close D, we mentioned Mike and Marino before, joined by Kang and McInerney. And in the cage for Don Bosco this afternoon, it is number 44, Brody Corey.
Corey heading to Rutgers. He's an elite ball stopper. He's vocal. Love his patience. Love the fundamental aspect to his game. Good size, 5'11", 161 career saves. Kind of split some time with O'Hara last year, who's at Siena. This is his team. Coming off a little bit of an injury, but he's back in there. He's going to need to make 12 to 15 today for Don Bosco if they're looking to take down this high-powered St. Anthony's offense.
And the head coach of the Ironmen in his 3rd season, there he is, Matt Lane, former Montclair Kimberly Academy graduate, a high school All-American, a guy, Soap, who played his lacrosse at the Dome, was a team captain back in 2018. Assistant coach is Brian Kavanaugh. He's your defensive coordinator. Jordan Prisco works with the offense. Frank Lugo with the faceoffs.
Yeah, Lane, they just honored Coach Desco up at the Dome. And Brian Cavanaugh, this is a homecoming for him. All-county goalie from Deer Park, played at Princeton, and was a really, really good coach in the PLL with the Archers. Dynamic coaching staff, one of the best staffs in the country in terms of X's and O's for Don Bosco.
All right, let's take a look at the starters now for the Friars of St. Anthony's. Unchanged from the Staples game, so you've got Rooney, Cachubato, and Harrigan now as your attack line. Atkinson moves up from that second midfield to the first midfield line, along with the jack of all trades, Jake Johnston and Aiden Daly mentioned before, Lasco as well. In your close D, they're getting healthier on that side of the ball, so we expect it to be Bramoff, Heron, and Filiberto. And we've seen a rotation now in goal. So we had Nick Zank play really, really well against Staples, and in the goal here today, it's Dylan Rappaport.
Two completely different goalies. Rappaport, a senior from Rockville Center, heading to Loyola. We have a heavy Loyola presence in this game with a couple of shooters on the other side. This is a little sign of things to come, but 2-0 in the cage for St. Anthony's. Got to be huge today. Really like his hands, really like the way he saves the ball, and he's a really good outletter of the rock as well. Again, both goalies need to be really good today. I don't know, Dill. We got a race to 9 today. Does 9 win it? Both teams have been struggling to get over 10, but the goalies need to be big.
And in the middle of that huddle, in his 27th season as St. Anthony's head coach, it's Keith Weiserick, the 86 St. Anthony's graduate. 360 overall wins to 83 losses. Talk about good assistant coaches. How about J.M. Simpson as your DC, Doug Schreiber, your OC. Then you got Brendan Homeyer working with the offense, Richie Reichert Jr. with the defense, and a guy named Jack Kincannon, a pretty great goalie back in his day here, working with the goalies. So it is St. Anthony's, it is Don Bosco. We'll have our keys to the game in the opening face-off when we return here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Parents, coaches, and players, ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
Well, I've been working with Varsity Media for, 14 years. When we have video needs, whether that be a game, whether that be a practice, whether it be social media, it's nice to know that somebody understands what we're looking for without asking for it.
We started working with Varsity Media back in 2021, and since then they've been an absolute game changer, putting our event on the map. Varsity Media couldn't be a better partner, and if you're looking to optimize your event, I couldn't recommend them anymore.
It's been great for us. The kids really get excited when they know that Varsity Media is going to be here. Not just what's happening on the football field, but all the excitement that's around it. It really boosts the environment here, and everybody gets really excited for what's going on.
Varsity Media is reliable, professional, and their quality work is fantastic. It's like watching ESPN. The announcers are unreal, really do a great job of speaking to the coaches to get the knowledge of the players, the season, what's going on with the team. There is nothing better than Varsity Media doing a live broadcast.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
There's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves. When it comes to live streaming, Varsity Media does it all. Athletic events, concerts, musicals, graduations, even weddings. Trust Varsity Media when it comes to your live stream event. Contact us today to learn more about Varsity Media's live streaming services at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athletes' key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now.
Welcome back to Cy Donnelly Field. Dylan Butler, Brian Soper, our entire Varsity Media crew here as the Ironmen of Don Bosco and the Friars of St. Anthony's take the field. We spoke with both head coaches, Soap, before the start of this one, and here's what they identified as their three keys to this one.
Yeah, Coach Lane wanted to win the time of possession, hopefully, off the wings and face off, limit St. Anthony's in transition. That's when St. Anthony's has been the most dangerous this year, when those poles, Bramoff and Lasko, get out. They got great finishers on the back end. Rooney is so smart there, and they want to take smart shots. They want to get them on the 6x6, take good ones, and hopefully they can can a few. St. Anthony's, right, battle at the face-off act. It's going to be tough. Down two guys. Hopefully the wings scrap it up. Even 30% they'll take. Increase shot production, hit the net, shoot more, be clean in the clear and ride, aggressive and ride and clear game. Coach Weiserick said when they charted their wins and losses, it's all about the rides and clears.
And the opening face-off, it is Will Lugo for Bosco. You see 61%. Nathaniel Cook, he is face-off number 3 on the depth chart. We mentioned Robbie Johnson has been banged up a little bit. Paulian Lenigro late in the second quarter of that Staples win, also injured, likely out for a couple of weeks here. So opening face-off does go to Bosco.
Lugo's a good face-off guy heading to Albany. They had a really good one last year with Scott Conti. So
our first look at Bosco on offense, and a lot of what they do, Soap, is looking to initiate from the midfield, whether it's Dever, if he's inverted a little bit, or you saw right there a moment ago, Dash Lane, two guys who could really kind of run by guys and create havoc.
Yeah, Halesworth as well, Jason Koo, just a loaded offensive group, 6 guys who can all score.
So Nate Longway as well, part of that midfield unit, number 46. Now here comes Lane downhill. Lane, ball dislodged, and Rappaport picks it up.
Great job. That's Gavin Johnson, the senior, heading to South Carolina Anderson University. What a great little kind of butt dig there to get the ball on the ground against a really good one in Lane, who's committed to Richmond.
Jake Johnston came out of the box, was trying to get something in the substitution game, bobbled the ball a little bit, so we'll go a little bit more settled here as there is one of our impact players, Aiden Dale, who hands off now to Billy Atkinson. Atkinson comes downhill, goes back out to Harrigan, and now it's Johnston. Jake Johnston feeding X to Rooney.
Yeah, Johnston's drawing the pole at the midfield. That will leave Dale here on a shorty.
Oh, Dale blows by that shorty. Does get it to Rooney. He has been so good from that position at X.
How good is that matchup? Marino versus Rooney, Richmond versus Maryland.
Harrigan, first shot on frame is saved.
You see it right away with Corey. Corey plays great position. He's always in the right spot. Elite stopper, great hands, well-controlled rebound.
St. Anthony's, as you mentioned in one of the keys, hoping to get some stuff off the ride. Hard to ride, though, when the goalie makes a save and gets the ball out of his stick quickly. So now back on offense comes Bosco, and they're working now with the second midfield unit. That's Cooper, O'Brien, Bruno.
It's a perfect spot for Corey, right? Rutgers, they like to play fast. He's a goalie who could really get it out of his stick, following guys like Stoller and Kirst. I think Corey's got a bright future in Jersey.
And a bright present there as well. Nice knockdown. Ball deflects.
There he is, EB.
Bramoff pushes it ahead.
Oh, what a play.
Back to Bramoff. So Bramoff and Harrigan showing they have maybe some soccer skills in their arsenal as well.
Seniors got to step up today. Bramoff, Harrigan, Rooney. Going to have to lead at Cacciabato. But you see what Bramoff does, just always around the ball, disrupts it, gets it on the carpet, and 9 out of 10 times he's coming up with it.
Here is Ronayne. To Harrigan. Ronayne, that shot wide.
Not a great change there by Bosco, but good job recognizing it. They got into like a 5-man zone and were able to match up.
Rooney has really elevated his game at X. Even if he's not getting the assist, Soap, he's doing something right, and there is something right for the Friars as Harrigan attacks the cage and puts it in the net.
Yeah, great feed here. Is this Schneider with the feed? 22.
Yes, sir.
Right, Schneider, he couple of good feeds. He's been getting more time. Nice job. Harrigan, that's what he does, right? He's off ball. He does a great job getting himself into space. Dynamic left-handed shooter. Harrigan says, you got me the first time, Corey, not now. Great cut, off-ball movement by the Friars.
Clean win for the Ironmen in Lugo. So the face-off position is going to be difficult today. We did see in that Staples game, Soap, we saw Brody Richard win a few, but on a warmer day like today, and considering how much work Richard has to do on this side, as right now he's playing defense for the Friars, it is kind of Cook right now who's got that responsibility.
Puts a lot of more emphasis on the defense, on the goaltending by St. Anthony's. Got to get stops, got to get saves to offset those possessions.
Halesworth hands off to Lane.
Because the last guy you want to see if you're down to your third guy is a guy like Will Lugo.
And the way that, as we'll have our first flag thrown, our first penalty of the game, the way that Weiserick explained it is let's lose the battle but not the war. Let's not give up anything. Quick goals. As you see, this will be a push, 30-second man up for Bosco. So the first man up for either team, man down this season. The Friars at 23.1%.
Looks like they're rotating 5, St. Anthony's defense.
91, Villarreal. And there's the finish. Right at the crease. It was Cush. Brady Kushner with the man-up goal.
Love that set by the Ironmen. They had a lot of movement out of the 3-3, cutting, replacing, guys getting to different spots. The last guy you want to leave open, center cut is Kushner, the lefty headed to Loyola. 11th goal on the year, his 71st career goal. Great man-up set by Don Bosco.
Yeah, 11th of the year. Give the assist to Dash Lane, his 2nd of the year. And Bosco converts on the man-up. And they'll have the ball again here.
Yeah, Lugo coming in. He's a 3-year varsity guy, 180 wins to his career. Battling every day with a guy who's starting at Delaware Conti, a freshman. I saw him personally go 11 for 16 versus UMass this Saturday in an 8-7 win for Delaware.
So Bosco back on attack. Time of possession is something that Matt Lane identified as one of his keys, and early on that is the case. Here is the sophomore, Evan Kang. Feeds it to X. Sidearm rip. That was a shot by Dever, but we'll go the other way.
Yeah, legal screen. Looks like Bosco likes to spread you out to start. They'll start in a circle. Then they cut into like a 1-4 look, using some two-man games with the crease and the wing, but had a moving pick there.
Rappaport gets it this way, and that's Heron. Did get a little bit of harassment there by Villarreal, but the Friars do get the good clear.
Yeah, Aiden Dale was in the right spot there, picked up the loose change.
And now you get your first midfield back on for the Friars.
You know, I'm just watching that Marino-Rooney matchup. You know, Marino just looks the part. He just looks like a D1 defenseman, long.
There goes Dale again. They'll reverse it to Atkinson.
Early slides by Bosco.
Harrigan. Back to Johnston. Jake. Pumps the brakes, tries to get topside. Johnston!
Listen, it's subtle, but it's masterful. The way this kid moves with a lacrosse stick, his savviness to protect his stick. He's going against a junior going to UVA, 6'2" Paul. Watch this. Little hezzy, protects his stick, goes sidearm, slings it to the corner. Johns Hopkins is getting a real good one in 7-7. Just an unbelievable player. His 8th goal on the year. Swiss Army knife for this St. Anthony's team.
And now we do see after 3 losses, Brody Richard will battle there now.
Just scrap it up.
But Lugo wins it to himself quickly, but that's what Richard could do, right? Stick check, yard sale, scrap things up.
Got to come up with it.
Good GB. And it'll be, well, it was going to be Bosco possession, and then they threw the ball away.
Yeah, that was Brady Balcom, the senior, heading to Keene. Going to be a Cougar.
But that was all Richard and his tenacity.
Yeah, Richard, captain of this team, tough as nails, head to Townsend. Anything coach says, he says, yes, I'll do it.
So we have Townsend and Loyola here. A lot of guys heading down to Maryland, and Maryland itself.
Yeah, Loyola's on a 4-game heater, 8-4. Coach Toomey's got the Greyhounds rolling.
So Harrigan hands off to Ronayne. And now Rooney, at least momentarily here, inverted a little bit. As it is Snyder who works behind the cage. We've seen this before as well. It gives Rooney an opportunity to do this, to get to the wing and dodge there. Loses the ball, though.
Yeah, that's Marino, heavy checker. This is what's going to win this game, these 50-50s, because both teams are tough defensively.
And another flag thrown against the Friars.
Look at the scrap.
So delayed penalty here.
Yeah, that's Rocco Scalia with that GB. Another guy heading to Richmond. I had an ACC coach tell me Richmond just recruits legit guys. Well, we're seeing 3 of them here with Lane, Scalia, and Marino.
Here is Halesworth. Halesworth goes to the cage. Halesworth! With the finish.
What did Coach tell us? What did Coach Lane tell us about Halesworth, Dill? He's one of the most unstoppable one-on-one. This first step he has is just electric. See, that's just another burst. Takes off, protects his stick. Rappaport gets a piece of it, but not enough. 9th goal on the year for Heston Halesworth.
The penalty, which would have been a push from behind, waved off on the goal. And for Halesworth, it is his 9th of the year, as we are now tied at 2.
Halesworth just one of those guys that just puts a tremendous amount of stress on the defense. 6-on-6 in transition, doesn't matter.
How about it for Richard there?
Yeah, you scrap it. Bramoff to Lasco. We've seen this game before.
Pole goal! Lasco!
You know, it starts with 2 seniors, right? It talks with Richard, who scraps it up, gooses it back. Bramoff always around the ball, scoops it up, a little goose to Lasco, and the BU Terrier off his leash goes down and sticks one in the low corner. That's what St. Anthony's going to have to do. They're going to have to scrap it up, win possessions, and bury their opportunities.
Wicked goal for the future Terrier. For Lasco, goal number 1 on the year. And look at that. After you scrap it a little bit, now Lugo jumps. So the Friars back on attack. Here comes Atkinson, the Bryant commit. Works it back to Harrigan. And now again, there's Dale. Gets the shorty. Dale goes high, and that is saved.
Again, that's Corey playing his angles, letting Dale run out of space. Another save, another catch, another outlet.
And it's now Kushner. Gets it to X. That's where Villarreal will operate.
Yeah, Villarue's a Sacred Heart commit. They're only scoring 14.5 goals per game this year. Gonna love getting Hudson on campus.
Back to Halesworth to Lane. And now we see Dever kind of inverted. We've seen a lot of this year. Dever and Lane will kind of interchange there to try to be that initiator.
Watch this split coming up.
How about this matchup too, huh?
Yeah, his split is dynamic. Lane likes to roll as well, plant that foot in the ground.
Has to kick it back out to Halesworth. Now he'll try to do the same. He's got it on, he's trying to do it on Dale, but Lasco.
Speed on speed.
Yeah, man. Halesworth shoots it wide. And no backup. Shot clock also was winding down anyway, so it'll be St. Anthony's ball.
So we've seen Lasco score a goal in transition. We've seen him defend up top. We've seen him defend behind the goal.
So his bingo card almost full. Here is Heron. Heron! He already has a pole goal at Chaminade this year.
Poles have been really involved this year, helping in the clearing game for St. Anthony's.
Harrigan.
Yeah, that's Aiden Kang, 6'8", senior, heading to Swarthmore. The Garnet. Again, early slides by the Ironman.
Gavin Snyder.
Especially to the shorties.
The kick to Ronayne. Ronayne, that is an easy one there to save.
Third save for Corey. Another catch by him. Got to really get him off his line. You got to use ball movement to beat him in the 6-on-6. Quick movement, take a shot, because his positioning is too good.
Final 30 seconds of the first quarter. So Bosco can hold here for the last, trying to get something maybe in the sub game. Here is Dever. Bramoff on him.
Just watch how Bramoff keeps his stick at the range right on his gloves. That's what he's really good at.
That jump shot wide. 4.7.
Got to check down in the crease.
Last shot. That would have been good. It was wide, though. as the first quarter ends with St. Anthony's leading it 3-2. The reason they lead, Soap, one of my favorite goals that you can score, the pole goal.
Yeah, I think Lasco is a company that makes fans. I'm a huge fan of 17. Unbelievable job. Get him out in transition and watch him work. Bramoff to Lasco, a lethal combination.
Friars lead by 1 after 1. You're watching it all right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Katie Ledecky. As an Olympic athlete, you might think staying healthy is easy for me. Truth is, we all face challenges. Keeping the right mindset is how we achieve our best personal performance. At Catholic Health, the same focus on wellness and prevention that I follow every day is the way they think too. That's why I'm teaming up with Catholic Health to help make healthcare even more positive, proactive, and personal for every person across Long Island. Long live you, and long live Long Island.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Back here at St. Anthony's, 1 quarter in the books, and the Friars with a 3-2 lead. Dylan Butler, Brian Soper, our entire Varsity Media crew here. A fun opening quarter, so.
St. Anthony's proves that, little momentum at the face-off X. You don't have to win them. You just got to make it tough. Don Bosco wanted to keep St. A's out of transition, but St. Anthony's got out and ran.
See the last 3 years for the Friars, 13-4 last year, 12-2 the year before, 12-1. It feels like, though, as you get more losses, it feels like the strength of schedule gets even tougher as Weiserick has kind of slowly, he's been wanting to get to this point. You kind of go regional, and now you go national, right?
Yeah, murderer's row, the schedule, and flip a coin. Who's the best? Who's the top 10? It's always changing.
All right, back to the face-off X. Lugo again for Bosco. Looks like it is Cook back in for the Friars.
Definitely a little hot today. We'll see how that plays a role later in this game.
And that'll win for Lugo. His 5th.
Yeah, Lugo's role just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Last year he won 111, came in today with 105 wins. Most likely get over 200 face-off wins this season.
And there is Dash Lane with the ball. He is Matt Lane's nephew. So an interesting dynamic there for those two. Here is Dash.
They like that little seal play on the wing out of the 1-4.
Dever draws the attention of Bramoff.
Just watch the movement inside. Makes it very tough to slide.
Lane, tried to get up and under, and Johnston said no.
Second takeaway by the shorty. Gavin Johnston. Just solid, smart on the ball defender.
A good clear again for the Friars.
I think that's one thing that's really cool. We've had St. Anthony's a couple times this year. You just see throughout the year how much better guys are getting, and I think Gavin Johnston is just rising.
Now here comes Jake downhill. Flag thrown. So this will be against Bosco. Little mistake there in the sub game. So delayed penalty as Johnston gets it to Harrigan. Harrigan, kick save.
Yeah, might have got a help from his friend the pipe. You cannot let Dylan Harrigan get to the middle with that left hand. It's lethal.
So offside there for Bosco. First man up opportunity for St. Anthony's. In this one, it'll be a 32nd man up. Friars on the year, 44.4% with the extra man.
Yeah, fine number 12. I call him Catch now because he catches everything. Catch Giabato.
Well, it's not hard to find him because he is in front of the goal.
You got to be careful, too. He picks up the trash. He picks up the GBs.
Harrigan the skip. Rooney to Johnston.
3-3 look.
12's calling for it. Low shot. Rooney save. Loose ball. Does 12 get it? Still loose. Falls to Johnston.
If not 12, it's usually 77. First time we've seen Corey have to go down low. Good shot placement by Rooney. Nice save to get down and dig it out of the ground.
Harrigan. What a move. Harrigan!
Future Terp. Kind of playing attack, plays midfield. Everyone's worried about the left. He brings it. He kind of teases you, brings it to his right for a second. S dodges underneath, hammers it to the top corner. Senior's got to step up. Great start by Harrigan. First one he's canned, but he's had a bunch of good looks so far. That's promising for St. Anthony's.
Second of the game, 10th of the season.
Yeah, second game. Yeah, second one was off ball. That one was with the ball in his stick. Definitely fits that dynamic offensive player that Coach Tillman loves at Maryland.
The hope for St. Anthony's, as this is the scrap for it. And look at Cook, comes away with it. Oh, my, that was from behind by Dever. And let's see what the officials do here. It was defenseless for Lasco. He was up trying to get the ball from behind. The question is it head contact? It'll be 1 minute. So not locked in.
It was just a scrap. Richards there, up for grabs. You know, Devers going to play football at Georgetown, but on the special teams, one of the best punters in New Jersey, kicks field goals, extra points.
So second man up opportunity for the Friars. They're 0 for 1.
Yeah, they went 3-3 the first time. Now they're in a 1-4. Probably pop someone off the crease.
Yeah, Cacciabato behind. We don't expect to see him there that long. Ringing it off the bar was Rooney.
Yeah, they carried and popped the crease. Rooney went high once, then he went low first, then he went high there. Maybe somewhere in the middle now.
Dale has found a way to score some extra man goals this year as well.
Yeah, especially from that top center spot.
Johnston. Back to Rooney. The feed. Oh, Cacciabato! Patting that shot.
Catch it if you can. He can catch everything. CNC scoring factory, his 18th goal on the year. We usually see it, backhanded, but this is equally wicked. Lefty switches it to his right. Whoop. Top corner. Face it off. All I do is score goals. No assists on the year, and I'm sure he loves it.
That's fine because Rooney gets the assist, his 15th of the year. Man-up goal has extended this lead now for St. Anthony's to 5-2. Lugo, clean win, but Lasco comes hunting from behind, takes the ball away.
The Poles are dominating for St. A's. Lasco, Bramoff, Heron. Add in a little shorty with Johnston and Richard. It's all about possession. It's a possession game. It's a finishing game. We've seen elite finishing by St. Anthony's.
And I think this is proof positive, Soap, too. You mentioned the Poles, right? This is proof positive that the face-off game isn't just the two guys in the circle. It's about everybody who's in that kind of mix or the scrum, if you can get it to a scrum. You have an elite face-off guy for Bosco, but as you said, the Poles for St. Anthony's just creating havoc.
I'm sure Coach Weiser challenged them. They're like, listen, we're down. We got to scrap it up. Our other parts of our game have to get better. And so far, they're rising to the challenge.
The hope is Robbie Johnson and or both, Paulie Lenigro can be back in time for that Lawrenceville showdown that we'll see. As we take a look at the last 3 years, we showed you for St. Anthony's, and for Bosco, there you see it last year in the non-public final. They lost there to end their 17-7 season. How about in your first year? Matty Lane comes in and goes 17-3, wins the non-public championship, and goes on and wins a state title as well.
Just a great program. They take pride in lacrosse. They're tough. They live in the weight room. And Lane is just a really good coach, has a really good staff, comes from Syracuse, a winning program, has brought that to New Jersey.
And he's got some guys, we'll show their maybe next level guys if we can, some guys playing high level collegiate ball as well.
Yeah, you got, Brady Schioletti. He's unbelievable, right? He has 19 goals for Duke this year. He had 188 career goals for the Ironmen. You got Marquise at Albany. Conti's ripping up the faceoff X for Delaware. Connor Kem at BU. And Mark Marino, right, his brother Mikey tearing it up down low. Mark Marino is at Princeton. He was a really good player here for Don Bosco. I think it's 2022, but elite talent for Don Bosco everywhere.
And so we show the end of those years with the non-public finals appearances and the titles, but also last year they won their 5th consecutive Bergen County title.
Yeah, and Schioletti scored 73 goals here last year, so you got to figure out some different roles. It's hard to replace 73 Gs.
They beat a team known as Bergen Catholic in that one, another illegal screen.
Second time they've been caught there, that 1-4 setting that screen. It's probably something I'm sure that Coach Weiserick said before the game to the refs. Keep an eye on this.
Johnston gets it across. So this was 2-2, and then St. Anthony's has reeled off 3 straight.
Yeah, Coach Lane's not going to like that. Timeout, come out of a timeout, commit a unforced error.
And then St. Anthony's goes quick, and look at it, Rooney with the finish. That all came off the substitution game. Again, St. Anthony's playing some tricks there, and they can get downhill with some numbers, and Rooney's not going to miss from there.
Yeah, looked like they caught, kind of a zone look, little unsure of themselves down there. Rooney, again, it tips the goalie stick, doesn't matter, counts as a goal. Rooney's had a really good first half here, both shooting the ball and assisting.
Yeah, the senior from Syosset, goal number 14. Give the assist to Jake Johnston.
Yeah, another Maryland commit, and Rooney.
Johnston will go down to Hopkins. Clean win for 66 there in Lugo.
Just really haven't seen much Don Bosco in the 6-on-6. They have a couple of turnovers on illegal screens. We've seen them score on the man up. They really like to get one here in the 6-on-6 set.
Nate Longway comes out of the box. Here is Halesworth. And I think part of the problem for the Ironmen here is they do so much looking to initiate from here, right? But you've got elite defenders and short stick defenders as well for St. Anthony's, so they're not making it easy. Here's Halesworth, gets on his horse.
Yeah, 26, that's James Griffin, a junior, another guy committed down low to Navy.
Good to see him back as well. He's been in and out, battling injuries. Inside roll, and look at Rappaport.
Said that's a wrap. That inside roll, I'll take that. Unbelievable save by the future Greyhound of Loyola. That was a great move. You see Villarreal, his box experience kind of protected that stick two-handed, but Rappaport was too good.
That was his first save, and a good one there for Rapp.
Yeah, 6-2 lead, get your first save, feel confident. It's a great way to kind of finish this half.
We've seen a rotation now at that position with Nick Zank and Dylan Rappaport alternating games.
Yeah, just a real good goalie room if you're St. Anthony's. You know, junior Jack Neary as well is committed to Jacksonville, so that's why I think these shooters have to shoot every day. They go against 3 really good goalies.
Rooney goes down low. A save there as well.
Just a more aggressive Rooney today. I think that's his 5th shot, hit a couple of pipes. Corey's made a couple of good saves on him. But I think that aggressiveness out of Rooney is a sign that he's feeling really good and healthy.
Flags fly as Harrigan trying to ride it back. She fell over the midfield line, so a delayed penalty against the Friars.
So essentially it's a free possession for Don Bosco. They'll blow the whistle once St. A's picks up the GB.
Here is Dever. And I guess the good thing for St. Anthony is like, fine, we'll just defend with one more.
Yeah, Harrigan's just kind of playing an automatic slide guy. Haven't really seen Don Bosco win a matchup except for Halesworth in that, kind of unsettled transition. Filiberto laying the lumber.
And nowhere to go there for Villarreal.
Yeah, that was Filiberto, senior, St. Bonaventure. Stout physical defender. Laid the boom.
So 32nd man up for Bosco on the offside penalty.
Really love the set Don Bosco ran. It just seems like a team you really don't want to allow to be man up.
1 for 2 with the extra man are the Ironmen today. Villarreal up top. Flip to Halesworth, and there's the man-up goal. A little dash from Lane.
Just watch this execution. You see Hudson Villarreal is going to set a screen down for a popping dash Lane. Lane, a junior, 22 goals as a sophomore. That's his 11th goal this year. Just a well-run man-up set with a great finish. Yeah, Villarreal set that screen there. Allowed for Lane to get his hands free.
So for Lane, the junior from Montvale, goal number 11 on the season. A big one there for Bosco because they get, at least momentarily, looking like they get the face-off win, but there is Richard again. So tough is Brody Richard.
So, one thing, coaching aspect of it, you see Lugo very much winning the ball to himself, and then St. Anthony's attacks like hyenas, right? There's 2 guys on him. Maybe an adjustment might be for Lugo to use his wings a little bit, maybe try to exit out the front.
Well, that's the point that Weiserick made, right? Let's not have him win it going forward and getting something quick. And his guys were like, yes, coach. They have answered that challenge.
It's really been the key to this game for a quarter and a half.
Snyder gets it to Rooney.
Yeah, Schneider, recruit to Army.
Rooney the feed, and there's the finish again. Cacciabato.
Head on a swivel if you're guarding him. You cannot lose him for a second. Rooney, just a dynamic feeder. Look at it, right on the stick. Doesn't have to move it. One motion, catch it where it's fed, shoot it where it's fed.
What do you think will happen first? Charlie Cacciabato's 25th goal of the year or his first assist?
I don't think he's going to get an assist for the whole year. 35-0.
He's got 19 now. And that's a good face-off win. Lugo gets it back to Dever.
It's just know your role, right? You are a finisher. You can finish with your right, your left hand, behind the back, sidearm. That doesn't happen by accident. That's practice. That's the backyard. That's watching film.
So down 7-3. It's a big possession here for the Ironmen inside the final 2 minutes of the first half. Can they get something 6-on-6? That was an errant pass that Rappaport picked off.
Yeah, Kushner trying for the give and go.
Bramoff. He goes pole to Lasco. Now a timeout for St. Anthony's to set something up here for the final 1:17 of the first half.
If you ask Coach Weiserick, for the perfect script so far, I think this is it. They're doing everything right.
We take a look now at some of the next level guys for the Friars. And hey, shout out Michael Leo. Congrats, my son. The number 6 overall pick in the PLL draft last night.
Some pretty good guys out there. He's going to join a couple of Friars on the Redwoods, and Aiden Denenza, McAdory, Dylan Malloy. He's going to join, Schreiber and O'Neill. I think O'Neill's down there somewhere on the sideline today.
We'll show you him in a
I
second.
saw Will Manny this weekend up at UMass, just PLL, St. Anthony's guys. Congrats to Leo. Owen Duffy, one of the best attackmen in the country. Tommy Schneider, his brother Gavin, is tearing it up out here with an assist, heading to Virginia. And there he is.
You knew by the calves, I think, that was Brennan O'Neill.
There's really no equal. He's like something we had never seen before in lacrosse. Just a dynamic player. Does it on all levels. Team USA, the PLL, the indoor as well.
But yeah, congratulations to Leo. He's going to join O'Neill and Denenza and all those guys. Schreiber on the next level, playing professionally. And also congratulations to Joey Spallina as well, the number 3 overall pick. He's just about, 2 points away from becoming Syracuse's all-time leading scorer. That is ridiculous. And what you love, too, is if you watched the coverage of the PLL draft on ESPN last night, inevitably they were going to show you that highlight. We've seen it a million times of Joey Spallina in the skills competition back in the day, right? Showing off, getting on SportsCenter.
Yeah, just grew up in the game. Dad was coaching the Lizards with, how about that? Those rosters that the Lizards had to start the MLL. Just grew up in the game. Now he's going to be mentored by Pennell. It's just
how cool is that, right? He watched on the sideline as a young boy, idolizing a guy like Rob Pennell, and now Pennell and Joey Spallina teammates.
But what do you think it's like for these guys at St. Anthony's, right, to have O'Neill standing on the sideline today, right? It's just rarefied air.
Yeah, pretty awesome. That is for sure. Harrigan. That one wide. There's 11 on the shot clock, 24 on the game clock. Harrigan. Step down. That was wide. The shot clock never changed from 11, so there'll be a talk here at the box to see what number that will go down to. It's got to be something in the low, like 4 or 5, I would think.
So while they figure it out, Harrigan's going to go pick it up. He's been shot out of a cannon this first half. Enough time to dodge, draw a slide, try to find a teammate.
I think they weren't able to reset it to the number. So right now it says 7-8. I don't think they had a reset though. So yeah, and that is a shot clock right there. So now let's see if Bosco can get something quick the other way. 6 seconds. And then an errant pass to Dever. It's been that kind of a first half for the Ironmen.
Yeah, it's a first half you want to flush.
Hey, Bramoff beat the buzzer against Staples. Tries to do it again there. Unable to get that finish, but a really good first half for St. Anthony's. And number 12 from the CNC scoring factory, he's making the Ironmen sweat.
Yeah, he's going to make you sweat in that crease. He's bringing the fire to the Ironmen. They have faith in Cacciabato inside. An absolute clinic first half if you're a fan of the team in white.
7-3 St. Anthony's at the break. You're watching it all right here in the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athlete's key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now.
Hey parents, coaches, and players. Ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
Well, I've been working with Varsity Media for, 14 years. When we have video needs, whether that be a game, whether that be a practice, whether it be social media, it's nice to know that somebody understands what we're looking for without asking for it.
We started working with Varsity Media back in 2021, and since then they've been an absolute game changer, putting our event on the map. Varsity Media couldn't be a better partner, and if you're looking to optimize your event, I couldn't recommend them anymore.
It's been great for us. You know, the kids really get excited when they know that Varsity Media is going to be here. Not just what's happening on the football field, but all the excitement that's around it. It really boosts the environment here, and everybody gets really excited for what's going on.
Varsity Media is reliable, professional, and their quality work is fantastic. It's like watching ESPN. The announcers are unreal, really do a great job of speaking to the coaches to get the knowledge of the players, the season, what's going on with the team. There is nothing better than Varsity Media doing a live broadcast.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Long live the morning routine. Long live friendly competition. Long live cozy nights at home. And long live healthcare that works with your life. Access to great doctors, simple mobile app, convenient locations across Long Island? Absolutely. You have options, but at Catholic Health, we'd like to remind you to choose you first, because we did too. Long live you, and long live Long Island.
For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
It's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Merrill, he's got room to go. Merrill towards the end zone. Lost his lid. Touchdown!
JJ Damo, face on, stay on athlete. Controlling the face-off. That's 3 in a row now.
Hey parents, coaches, and players. Ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
If you're looking to optimize your sporting event, look no further than Varsity Media's coverage. Since working with them over the course of the past 4 years through the Elite 5 New York City Football Showcase, their coverage has helped take us to the top.
Varsity Media does an unbelievable job in terms of the broadcast, backgrounds on kids, do a great job of exposure from top to bottom. I couldn't really say anything negative. It's been a great couple of years that we've been working together, and it's just fantastic.
Well, I'll tell you, the fact that you guys are here has helped grow it, really. I mean, Varsity Media's been a good partner with us now for the last couple of years. That brings this game to a much broader audience.
The level of detail and that you go to, I mean, obviously the announcers, the camera angles, the slow motions, I mean, you feel like it's being covered by, ESPN.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Welcome back on what feels like a summer afternoon here at St. Anthony's as the Friars with a 7-3 lead. Dylan Butler, Brian Soper, our entire Varsity Media crew. Soap, let's take a look at some first half stats for you.
Yeah, 7-3 on the scoreboard. St. Anthony's out shooting. A lot of turnovers for the first half by Bosco. 7 saves for Corey has kept them in it. Face-off domination. You're right around that. A good percentage if you're St. Anthony's. You're happy with that. Both 1 for 2 on the power play. But I think Richard, Gavin Johnston, kind of an unheralded first half for them, creating some more possessions. That's why you see the shot differential.
Let's take a look at some first half highlights for you as well. It was a good start for the Ironmen, right? As Kushner with the finish there. And we'll get to some more highlights, I guess, a little later as we're back to facing off. As again, Lugo and Cook facing off.
So you see the Bosco wings kind of wider, giving maybe Lugo a little more space so they can't double.
Hey, good job by Cook. You scrap it up.
Great ground ball by Basalina Jr., 6'2".
All right, let's see what maybe some adjustments here that the Iron Men have made.
Yeah, if you're Don Bosco, you got to keep the score at 7, chip away. Got to try to own the first 2 goals of the second half.
Said before 3-3 on the season, but one of the wins they do have, Soap, was against Chaminade at home. So
Yeah, Kushner was really good in that game, as well as Dever.
Sidearm shot there by Dever.
Look at 15. He's been all over Gavin Johnston.
Gets it to Heron. And now Richard.
Yeah, he's heading to Anderson University, the Trojans, right? New program in 2019. I don't know if they got too many guys better than 15 and white down there. He's going to be on campus, a rock star.
You just made me think as well. Another good shout out we could say is one of your boys out of Adelphi, right? Getting drafted as well. Yeah. Scores the winning goal in the national championship game last year and head into the PLL as well.
Yeah, Kyle Lewis.
Look at that. Getting down low was Billy Atkinson for the goal.
Yeah, known for his shooting ability on the run. He shows his ability to stretch it. Going to be heading to play for Coach Ross at Bryant. His second goal of the year from range. The lefty shoots at 5-hole, buries it. Friars stay hot.
Yeah, he mentions Lewis, a guy played at Cary, right? And then played football there as well. Goes to Adelphi, and I just love that because it's proof that we always say it, like there's a place to play, whether it's college, but also that's proof that if you play well and you want to continue this professionally, you have an opportunity, whether it's D1, 2, or 3.
Gavin Johnston again.
Rooney pulls it down.
You know, Kyle Lewis was a guy, 2 back-to-back Natty championships at Adelphi. Had plenty. We hear the term portal, transferring.
Sure.
He had plenty of opportunities. Places like Penn State. Stays in it. Stays playing for the Panthers. Here's his name called. What an unbelievable feeling that must have been.
Here's Dale. Again, blows by the short stick. Rooney, nice fake. The roll from X.
He looks really good today, Rooney.
He has looked these last few games. Feeling better, feeling more healthy. As it's Harrigan. Tries to get it inside to Dale. Rooney will scoop it up. 25 on the shot clock. Oh, off the bar.
Atkinson showing that range.
How about Dale, huh? 5 stars. You're a sophomore. You're getting in there. You're getting gritty, getting GBs.
Just a flat-out stud.
Here's some really, really good 2028s out there. That is in a tremendous class overall in the nation, on the island. Dale right up there with the best of them. Atkinson tries to go high again. And another save by Corey.
Just a great stop up top hand over, right? Made a great save, controlled the rebound. Superb positioning again.
Good to see him back, right? He, about 2 weeks ago, got hurt. Just got cleared this past Saturday, so didn't feel great in the warm-ups on Sunday against IMG, so he sat. He let the sophomore James Montegari get the start, came in the second half, but feeling a lot better now, certainly off a good first half, and stays in it here to start the second half.
He's going to really have to shut the door here in the third quarter.
And this is also a quarter to that point. Look, you go back to Saturday, right? St. Anthony's a 9-0 lead over Staples. But after the Lenigro injury and a unreleasable man up, Staples started to chip away. And it's something that Weiserick said to us, like we've got to keep our foot on the gas. We're not that good where we could just give up a third quarter to a team and expect to win it.
Yeah, 15, Gavin Johnson's absolutely everywhere. That was a great possession by Frank Filiberto. Defense really playing well for St. Anthony's.
Back to Rappaport. Bramoff to Johnston.
Yeah, Weiserick said when he went back and watched the huddles and looking at the stats for clearing, pretty much we clear well, we win. We don't clear so well, we're either in OT or have a loss.
Now a chance to get some more numbers in. Reed Johnston in. Sets the screen for Harrigan. Harrigan the look down low. Snyder stung it just wide.
Yeah, good adjacent look by Harrigan. He's so versatile. It's just curious to see how he where he's going to be on the next level. He's played attack. We've seen him play midfield here. Coach Weiser thinks midfield's more natural for him.
We kind of saw something similar with Michael Leo, right? Where he played midfield, plays attack. Something here in transition for Bosco. That's a high hit. No flag, though. And we come the other way.
Got numbers.
Cacciabato, Rooney, Harrigan, tic-tac-toe, boom.
Terp to terp. We've seen it before. We'll see it again. Bramoff starts with him. Looked like Bosco had a fast break. Kind of gets stuffed. Cacciabato. That's a hockey assist. Not quite an assist for Cacciabato. But Rooney, his third assist on the game, gives it to Harrigan, his third goal of the game. Senior to senior to senior to senior. Senior's got to step up, and the Friars are doing that.
So Harrigan with 3 in the game. Rooney with 1 and 3 in the game. And the lead now 9-3 for the Friars.
Yeah, it was a good Bramov did a good job kind of slow playing the point. Had Dever pull it out.
And you're not going to miss there. There's a delayed penalty on that shot, and the finish by Kushner, his second of the game.
Kushner finds himself in the right spot, finds a loose ball. The lefty's not going to miss from there. Buries the top corner with a crease crank. Unbelievable job by him. An elite goal scorer. Very athletic family. Dad Jim was a star at Calhoun, All-American at Nassau Community, and then played with Millen and the boys up at UMass. Jimmy Kushner.
For Brady, the lefty attackman, goal number 2 of 12 on the year. Lugo wins it clean. That shot was wide.
Yeah, you see Dash Lane playing the point.
Here's Halesworth. Back to Lane.
You get one here, you start to feel a little momentum. You're hoping Lugo can get hot at the X.
Here comes Lane downhill. Oh, man. Gavin, have a day, 15.
His ability to get under that bottom hand and, taking it away with the shorty, he's been unbelievable.
So to your point earlier, we've seen a lot of St. Anthony's games this year. This might be the best we have seen 15 play all year.
No doubt, right? Jake's brother, senior, another guy stepping up. I'm sure another guy part of that unit that was challenged by Coach Weiserick and the staff.
So we'll have another offside delayed penalty against Bosco. The sub game is an issue.
A couple of the coaches for Bosco with hands on their head, like what's going on?
So Johnston takes his man. Slide comes his way. Halesworth is that slide guy. He came back on. Here comes Dale.
They pre-slid to him.
Reverses course. Dale! Skipping rope behind the net was Harrigan. Another man-up opportunity now for the Friars. They were 1 for 2 in the first half.
With the way this game's going, it's pick your poison. You've seen Rooney having ability to stretch shoot. Cacciabato's hanging there in the crease. Pick your poison.
Dale. Dale, we've seen that before, right? You're not going to play it. You're not going to slide to me. I'm going to take a shot.
Got to respect the 28. One of the best in the country.
Rooney rotates up high.
Giving some space up top. Someone's going to let it fly.
Johnston rings it off the bar.
It's like you're dipping your toe in the water. Yeah, I'll bite.
Cacciabato back out to Rooney.
All even.
And now Dale.
Yeah, Rooney likes this shorty matchup.
Rooney goes low. Nice save.
Yeah, Corey's like, you're not going to catch me napping. I'm awake. Bosco just seems very content playing a 6-on-6 game, subbing guys off right away. St. Anthony's is fine with that.
Now you have these two options, right? Halesworth or Lane. Who can initiate, beat their man, and have a numerical mismatch down low?
Yeah, Halesworth's drawing the pole here with Lasco.
Lasco stays with him. Good feed, jump shot, wide of the mark by Jason Koo.
Yeah, Koo, Washington, and Lee commit, heading to the ODAC conference. You see his quicks inside with his off-ball cutting.
Big hit, still the inside roll. That was wide. Applying it was Griffin. Possession stays with the Ironmen. Ellsworth back to Koo. Really quick is Koo, but so too is 77 in white.
The brothers Johnston.
Jake will get the clear. And now it's Alex Shalafo. Lasco is trying to tee up another pole goal.
Yeah, you might have exploded this booth if he got another one. Again, just content, subbing. You know, in the fourth quarter, probably going to have to push the tempo a little more if you're Don Bosco.
In New Jersey, they don't play with the shot clock. And although it's still relatively new in New York, it feels like it's been 30 years since there hasn't been a shot clock in New York. Here's Halesworth. We'll hand it off, ducking under the check and shooting low. That was O'Brien Bruno. How about Heron selling out to get the ball back?
Good job. Ronayne was caught there on defense.
St. Anthony's faced a situation where they had a game where it was no shot clock, and it does affect, you know, when you're used to a shot clock and you're playing with it. They took on LaSalle. Nice save by Rappaport.
Good save, good timing. You're going to probably take the last shot here if you're St. A's.
They took on LaSalle on the road, no shot clock. LaSalle had like 3 and 4 minute, 5 minute possessions. And then when the offense gets it, right, maybe they're grabbing their sticks a little tight, trying to get a shot off too quick. There's a really good goalie there. So here's Harrigan now at 16.
Bosco needs a stop.
Harrigan. Johnston. Back up top to Dale.
Downhill Dale.
Dale! Oh, off the bar. And the rebound will come the other way, but the horn sounds. So 9-4 St. Anthony's. Nothing like sharing the ball when you've got a whole bunch of D1 dudes out there.
Yeah, it starts with Bramov, Cacciabato. Coach Tillman, you're watching. You're going to love seeing that in practice. Unbelievable job. Look at the vision by Rooney. Jump pass, jump finish, face it off. Friars by 5.
Fourth quarter coming up next on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
At St. Francis Heart Center, we're not just regional heart experts. We share our greater success with the world. We don't just pioneer technology. We do it more than anywhere on Greater Long Island. And we don't just win awards. We deliver greater outcomes for people like you. As New York's only specialty designated cardiac center, we're not satisfied with just being good. This is Long Island. This is St. Francis Heart Center. And greater lives here.
For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports.
Welcome back to South Huntington. Fourth quarter, seconds away. It is a 9-4 lead for St. Anthony's here. Dylan Butler, Brian Soper. We won't revisit it on screen, but we talked about the keys, and I think you're kind of checking all those boxes if you're St. Anthony's here today.
Yeah, Bosco wanted to keep St. Anthony's out of transition. We've seen a couple of transition goals for St. Anthony's. St. Anthony's has been pretty good in the clear. One failed clear to end that third quarter, but definitely above 30%, winning some scraps at the faceoff X.
Another face-off win for Bosco.
It's going to take a couple of wins by Lugo to get him back in this. Great job protecting his stick, running through a double team, getting the Ironmen a possession. It's a great point about the shot clock. You're right, that pace of play is just a little bit different. Going to have to see the Ironmen go a little faster here in the fourth quarter.
And we've seen a lot of teams kind of like they'll go and they'll play somewhere like Episcopal and St. Anthony's. They'll go to Rutgers. There's a shot clock there, right? Like you kind of go to another place just to make sure you can play with a shot clock.
Bramoff.
I'm going to say a push there is they'll reset.
Bramoff harassing the hands of Dever. You see him off ball with the slide. Really starting to feel his impact in the second half.
Here is Koo, another one of these guys who could initiate from up here. Koo tries to get Richard in a spin cycle. Low to high rip by Dever. The senior from Ridgewood is wide.
Yeah, he's known for his shooting prowess. You see why he has 104 career goals. Can absolutely rip it with both hands. Just missed the upright. He's usually more accurate.
Around the cage, Rappaport the save.
Yeah. Lane tried the wraparound shot. Rappaport said, not today. Hasn't been super busy, but's made the ones that he's needed and has been very, very solid here in the clear.
Now it's Rooney. And we've seen this when St. Anthony's is successful putting good numbers up on the scoreboard, it is shared, right, this offense. And you see it here in the numbers. Harrigan, the high guy right now with 3, but Cacciabata with 2, Rooney with 1 and 3, Jake Johnston with 1. Of course, Atkinson as well as Lasco scoring. Here is Rooney. Rooney, good stick check.
Yeah, you see how strong Marino is on the corners. He always plays the best guys. You know, Richmond had a guy picked last night, Hunter Smith, by the Cannons. Richmond plays a real aggressive defense, really need high IQ to play for them. Marino's going to be a good one.
These two teams met last year in New Jersey. A 7-5 win for the Friars. Dennis Brady having a day in the cage that in that one had 10 saves. Gary Merrill had 2 and 2. Jake Johnston, Danny Rooney with 2 goals each. Harrigan had 1 and 1. Nice low shot by Koo. Jason Koo, a much needed goal for Don Bosco.
You see the quicks on Koo, Washington League commit, senior, 5'9", third goal on the year, 22nd goal for his career. Hard to guard, initiator. Says, you're not going to slide to me? Okay, I'll bury it low and away. 77, looking back at the face-off X, hoping his boy Lugo can get a possession.
Yeah, the senior from Otapan, his 3rd goal of the year. 9-5. Now it's Lasco. They'll call him for a hold. I'm not sure I saw that, but Bosco possession now.
You get to 9-6, it starts to get interesting.
Yeah. Villa Rule. And here comes Koo again, looking to back up, trying to take his man. Lane. Oh, Dash. Look at the split dodge. Dash, Lane.
Dashing through the field, dodging left and right. This is what this kid does. He has a wicked split, his change of direction, great deception with his shoulders. Heading to Richmond.
2nd of the game.
Yeah, Dash. Watch that move. Finishes low and away. He's named Dashiell for the author Dashiell Hammett, crime author. Well, that move should have been a crime.
See, that's legit. He was actually named after an author. I was named after Bob Dylan, but I told my English teachers it was Dylan Thomas, which is actually not far from the truth. So I think that's where Bob Dylan got his name from, but I was always trying to get some extra.
So you're not blowing in the wind?
So look, this is the point you made, right? You get it to 9-6, now you have a possession.
Yeah, Lane has great moves. He's big kid, 6'2".
Halesworth, oh, he had an open man there in Villa Rule, and now he's got Bramoff, and a flag is thrown.
I think he had a timeout as well.
Was it a timeout? There is a flag, though.
Timeout, Bosco.
Which came first?
We'll have a conversation among the officials. Weiserick is waiting for it. It'll be a hold. So the hold came first. It'll be man up for Bosco as we take a look at some of their college commits now.
Yeah, a couple of future Greyhounds. We see Rutgers, Mary Washington, Woo, the Battling Bishops represent Virginia, Mercyhurst, Lakers, A.J. Pavone. Richmond, how about that? You know, they're busting coaches' chops all year. Richmond's ranked ahead of Syracuse. You ever think you're going to say that in your life?
I didn't think I'd say they were number 1 in the country at one point.
Yeah, Long Way, Ithaca, future Bomber, Swarthmore, Westminster, Albany, Lugo. Going to play for Scotty Marr.
How about the game last night, right?
Oh, my
Albany,
God.
Siena.
Albany just gets me fired up, right? They play the Pearl Jam alive, right? Just larger than life. Coach Gleason, rest in peace, my man. Just great stuff. And Wish it didn't have to do it, but 2 programs. They planted a tree. You saw that? They planted a tree for him.
Yeah, that was awesome. And actually, while we're thinking about it and we're thinking of Sienna, we wish the best to Patrick Radomski on a quick recovery.
So man up, they're shutting off Dever with Richard. So playing 5-on-4.
Here is Lane. Lane low to low. What a save!
Yeah, might have clanged some iron as well. We are Iron Men.
You're very musical today.
Fired up.
This will be an officials timeout as they'll work out the shot clock here on the restart. It should have restarted to 60. Here it is. We got it to 60 now. But it's kind of crazy, right? So, like, St. Anthony wants to play this national schedule, and then the 2 states that you're next to, right, part of the tri-state, neither have shot clocks. You know, of course, if you go to, like, a Brunswick or a school like that, you know, they do. Yeah. But, like, the publics like Darien and New Canaan and Staples.
You know, like, you got Bosco. Like, we've had a couple of things with the shot clock for the second half. They're like, this is why we don't need a shot clock. And one's like, we love the shot clock. But it's definitely changed the game here on Long Island. My son had a game in Connecticut, and they were like, no shot clock, and they were, like, touching it in the box. And it's like, what? I thought I was in, like, you know, a Wayback Machine.
Speaking of your son, congratulations on a goal yesterday for the baby Flyers of Chaminade.
Yeah, the Chaminade freshman team's rolling. Back-to-back wins. Beat up Staples yesterday. He's doing good, working hard. All that matters.
Yeah, so congratulations, Sean, on the first of many. Here's Villarreal. Villarreal, saved by Rappaport.
Not all saves are created equal. That was a huge one. Got a piece of that high heat.
And then on top of that, it falls fortuitously right to Richard.
Yeah, Richard's shutting his guy off, has enough awareness to turn around and catch a sky pop.
Look at Lasco.
Vacuum cleaner.
And how smart is that by Rooney?
Coach's kid. They have no choice. All they do is watch the game, listen to the game, time and score.
Yeah, Tom went from the booth yesterday doing Southside Farmingdale to back to being dad today.
I mean, how about that save? He was staring down Villarreal, one of the best shooters on the team, righty, crafty.
Yeah, and so mark that part down, right? That goal is scored. It's 9-7, and you're dominating at the faceoff X. That said, the Ironmen do get the ball back now.
Yeah, Weiserich just took off his hat, you know, kind of scraped his brow. He's like, oh, man, these possessions, we can't lose them. Got Dale was called for a ward there. Another time where they had numbers due to a sub-game win for St. Anthony's.
Halesworth. They're waiting, and now they do bring on O'Brien Bruno. Dever. Villarreal up top to Koo.
Brothers Johnston at short stick. Both have had great games in this half of the field.
Koo, slide comes his way. Feet to Dever, gets it right back. Coming downhill is Cush. Knocked down.
Lasco to Bramoff.
Bramoff couldn't step into that crease, so reversed course, gets the Rappaport, who Hands off to Heron.
Yeah, great knockdown. Called it, got it. Lasco got it. This box side has been wide open for Rappaport, clearing up the box side.
Shalafo, look out. Does not get it across in time. Now, wisely, you could see Bramoff going up to the official saying, hey, Dever lost his lid.
We saw that at the Syosset, Syosset Bethpage game earlier this season. Actually resulted in a penalty.
4:30 left. Another chance. This is the third that Bosco has had to try to cut it to 2. And more shot clock concerns. While they do that, let's take a look at the upcoming schedule here for these teams. It's not supposed to be blank like that or 0-0. I can guarantee you that. We'll take a look at the upcoming schedules for both of these teams. For Bosco, it's staying in the Garden State, but going on the road still, though. Northern Highlands, Chatham, Ridgewood, always a team they've got to worry about, and Bergen County. And then Mountain Lakes has a history of some terrific teams as well.
Yeah, Jersey's one of those states I'm not sure which is right, left, north, south, east, west.
Well, what is it? You can't make a left, right? Or you can't make a right? No.
If there's one state I get lost in the most, it's Jersey.
You have to go on the roundabout.
Good thing there's good diners on every corner, so I can just stop.
And here is St. Anthony's upcoming schedule. As you see, the next two on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Malvern comes to town. They've got a big one today against Episcopal. Iona Prep. I think by virtue of that win over Bosco, they have gotten the Friars' attention, the Gales. And then you head to Lawrenceville before taking on Kellenberg.
Yeah, both teams, the motto for the Don Bosco, iron sharpens iron. That's no more true than the schedules both of these teams are playing and they're practicing with. Just best on best all the time.
Koo hands off to Hellsworth. Koo gets it back. Here is Lane. So a terrific split dodge earlier from him. Draws the slide.
Yeah, good slide by Heron. It's nice to be 6'3" and left-handed.
Halesworth, another illegal screen. Third of the game.
If you're St. Anthony's here, you want to clear it. Use that shot clock. Wouldn't be shocked to see a timeout, but not necessary.
Heron gets it across to Atkinson. Offside, St. Anthony's. The coaching staff for the Friars adamant that was not the case. And look at this, off of it, Bosco gets the goal. And it was scored by Kushner.
Just capitalizing, a lot of attention, a lot of yelling down from the stands, kind of takes attention away from the field. It's the second time we've seen Kushner take advantage of some situations. Situation now is Bosco's hot and Kushner's left hand is on fire.
For the senior from Palisades, New York, his third of the year. And after so many bites of the apple, in a moment of kind of chaos, Bosco does pull within 2.
Yeah, Kushner's playing huge. His big games, he had 2 and 3 versus Chaminade, 3 goals, 2 assists versus IMG.
Final 3 minutes of regulation time. 9-7 the score. This was a 2-goal game a year ago as well.
I said it in the beginning, right? 1st to 9, and I was like, wow, I was way off because St. Anthony's was scoring like crazy. But can 9 win it, or will it take 10?
Nice move and the finish. Coup again. That first step, Soap, was
electric.
Yeah.
Future General Washington and Lee. Momentum's a crazy thing in lacrosse. Once you get it, you keep it. Little S, kind of a right to left, gets underneath, left-handed, increases his angle. 9-8, 2:43 to go.
Jason Koo, goal number 2 on the game. Now you have Lasco battling at the faceoff X with Lugo.
In the 6-on-6, we've seen, Bosco's had success dodging the shorties. And if there's no slide, right, they've had the ability to score the rock.
Big possession here. So for St. Anthony's, you're up 1. Momentum for Bosco right now.
Yeah, looking at the matchups, you got Johnston getting the pole.
And a timeout for the Friars with 2:26 remaining. We showed you some of the Bosco commitments, and we need a full timeout to go through the Friars commitments.
Yeah, it's a long list, super impressive. Rollins, Palm Beach, Florida Tech, Hobart, McHugh. We haven't seen him, right? He's getting healthy. Hopefully you'll see him next on Saturday. Billy Atkinson, we've seen him score a goal. Man Caruso, he's out with a shoulder injury. We see Bramov, Cacciabato, UNC. How about him with Petra Mahler and Duffy? Look out. Again, Gavin Johnston, Anderson heading to South Carolina area. We see Air Force, Zank in that rotation. Rutgers with Hecht. Snyder Army, his brother's playing at UVA, just a crazy athletic family. Rooney, coach's kid, his brothers tore it up. Merrimack, St. Dom's.
Hang on, we're not done yet.
Oh
Here's
my
a third.
God, I'm losing breath. St. Leo's, right, Wingate. Coach Jorgensen has a great program down there at St. Leo's. Navy, Amplo, Brochart, Miller, getting a couple of defenders. Hopefully we see Robbie Johnson soon. Jake Johnston, Hopkins is getting a great one. And Harrigan, I think you're going to see the ball in 88 stick here for St. Anthony's.
So that was like one of those old infomercials, right? But wait, there's more.
Yeah, you have the list and you roll it out. It just like rolls on the floor and keeps going down the street.
You think that's great? Hang on, we've got more. Like the old, was it like the CD sales?
And committing,
right?
and committing, and committing.
All right, so Soap says look out for 88 here.
88's inside. He'll probably rub a pick. Dale's got the shorty. It's a big, it shows the confidence they have if they go to 5. He's just a sophomore. But again, they'll attack the shorty here.
Well, he's been winning that matchup. Here's Atkinson. Now it's Harrigan. Johnston. Under 2 left in regulation. And there's Rooney. Johnston.
Oh!
Atkinson off the bar.
Big ground ball there because it was a shot clock reset.
And it goes to Bosco.
What a great set. What a great offensive possession by St. Anthony. Sometimes you just don't get rewarded. The Iron Men get the iron to go their way.
And now they've got the ball. 90 seconds left in regulation with a chance to tie.
Just look how different they're running, right? It's just a different energy on the half of the field offensively when you get a couple to go in.
I think it was the first quarter, right? It was tied at 2. That was the last time that Bosco tied, and just before that they had an early lead.
Dash Lane has the matchup. I mean, I know it's Richard, but you got to attack these shorties. The polls have been so good today for St. A's.
It'll be Hellsworth instead against Lasco. Hellsworth spins off the turf. Tough pickup for Koo. 77 on 77. And here is that matchup you said. 2 versus 2. Richard
stuffed.
Picks the pocket.
King Richard
pushes it ahead. Harrigan.
He's going to the
To the
hoop.
cage. Harrigan, smart move. And now you pump the brakes.
Wow. What about that IQ by Harrigan? What about that stuff by the Tiger, Richard?
Timeout, St. Anthony's.
You know, I don't know if that's scouting, but Lane loves the split, and Richard's like, boom, right in the chest.
Yeah, let's see if we could. I'm not sure if it's too far back, if we can maybe get it, that takeaway by Richard. But and you had called it, right? That was the matchup.
It's the matchup. You know, he's a beast, right? He's a cover guy, glue guy. Lanes has one of the best split dodges I've seen. Boop, right? He knows it, right? He jams them. That's scouting. That's watching film on your opponent. And what about Harrigan? Could have dunked it, but again, they got a guy named Will Lugo at the faceoff X. That means another possession. You just got to kill 22.2 seconds. You give it to the Roadrunner Dale, give it to a senior. This is why coaches make the big bucks.
Some games to look out for coming up here in the Varsity Media Sports Network. On the girls' side, Port and Massapequa. And then Malvern Prep coming to town here to take on the Friars. 12:30 start on Saturday afternoon. Some great games yesterday as well. Garden City going to Massapequa to Burner, winning that one. How about Garden City girls losing by 1 to Darien? Darien beating St. Anthony's girls to end their 51-game winning streak. It is, you think you know who the favorites are, and then you get humbled pretty quickly here in the Northeast.
Yeah, smart play. Give it to Rooney. He's got the goalie on him.
Rooney will spin there. Takes a look.
Yeah, he's
12 seconds.
He's not losing this ball.
Back to the corner. Catch me if you can. To Harrigan. Harrigan said, see you later, Bosco. I'm going out to midfield to celebrate with the boys.
Sopradamus, right, 1st and 9. He called it. It wasn't looking good, but 9-8. Good win by St. Anthony's.
Yeah, great win by the Friars. They go back-to-back now. They beat Staples and they beat Bosco as they improve to 5-3. And this win-loss thing for Bosco continues, right? You beat IMG, and now you lose at St. Anthony's.
Tale of two halves for both teams. I think if you're Coach Weiserick, another coachable moment, just like the other night against Staples. We went up big, kind of let them back in. And if you're Bosco, you need to flush that first half, because the Bosco we know and people love, that was the team in the second half.
So Bosco comes in here ready to do some damage, and they certainly gave St. Anthony's a game, right? How about Kushner with the finish inside? He had 3 on the day for the Ironmen, but the brothers Johnston, man, they came to play. Jake goes high, his first goal, then Lasco with the pole goal. Look at this one, ranging up high for the save for Dylan, but then Lane. Whoop. There's the spin cycle, look out. Split dodge finish. We've got a ball game in the second half, but then we saw Brody Richard with a big takeaway, and the Friars milked the clock at the end. For our executive producer, Ben Turchin, our technical director, Becca Kazaks, for Kevin Catalanato, AJ Nieves, bring you all the great moving images. For my broadcast partner, Brian Soper, Dylan Butler, thanking you for joining us from Cy Donnelly Field. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Varsity Media Sports Network.